Hello everyone, welcome back to Turkish series stars. Before we dive into today's whirlwind of a story, make sure you're subscribed, liking, and sharing, because this is the kind of night the internet doesn't stop talking about. What began as a quiet lull around two of the most talked about names in Turkish entertainment exploded into a full-on frenzy after a few carefully chosen words left fans breathless and the media scrambling for angles. It all centers on Barış Arduç and Elçin, two people whose on-screen spark once lit up a nation and whose real-life connection has kept viewers guessing ever since. For weeks, whispers circled through fan pages and gossip accounts. The kind of rumor that grows in silence kept building. Were they distant? Were they fine? Or was something shifting right under the public eye? They hadn't been seen together for a while. Both kept quiet online. No playful likes, no shared photos, no coy captions to feed speculation. That quiet, instead of calming the conversation, threw more wood onto the fire. Friends asked friends. Threads turned into theories. The idea that there might be tension between them, even if it was only space or the need for distance, took on a life of its own. And then last night happened. A glittering industry event where everything sparkled, cameras flashed, champagne fizzed, and celebrities floated from conversation to conversation. Inside, Barış looked relaxed in a way that made people exhale. He smiled with guests, greeted colleagues, and posed without a hint of strain. He laughed, really laughed, and for a moment it felt like the whispers had no place in that light. But everything changed when he stepped outside. It was like crossing a line between calm and chaos. As soon as he appeared at the exit, microphones and phones formed a wall. The questions came hard and bright under the streetlights. Are you and Elçin back together? Did you reconcile? Do you still love her? The phrasing shifted from one reporter to the next, but the heartbeat of every question was the same. He froze for a brief second, not lost, not overwhelmed, just measuring the air. Then he lifted his chin and answered in a voice that was steady, level, and serious enough to make the crowd lean in. He said he wasn't going to discuss the woman he loves. He made it clear he wasn't hiding his life, but insisted he deserved respect. That one sentiment detonated across the night. Within minutes, the clip of his reply was everywhere. People replayed it, slowed it down, watched his face, and savored the tone. Some called it the most romantic thing he has said in public. Others swore they heard something else, a hint, a signal, a boundary drawn not against love but against exposure. One comment went viral in seconds: no one uses the phrase "the woman I love" unless the feeling is still alive. Fans stamped hearts on that line, passed it around, and argued with anyone who tried to water it down. At almost the same time, on a different screen, a message surfaced. Elçin posted a simple note that read like calm water: everything is unfolding as it should. No photo. No hint. Just timing that felt impossibly precise. Was it coincidence? Was it a quiet signal to those who know how to read between the lines? Fans connected the dots instantly. They said it looked like the kind of message you send when you don't want to shout but still want to be heard by exactly the right people. They linked her words to his, turning two separate moments into a single pulse heard across the fandom. People close to the couple spoke softly, careful with their words. They said that Barış and Elçin had decided to keep their connection private for a while. They said the constant attention had become a kind of noise they could no longer think inside of. Privacy wasn't a retreat, it was a decision. They weren't giving up on anything. They were sheltering what was theirs. According to those who've watched them navigate this spotlight for years, the attention can be intoxicating when it lifts you, but brutal when it turns curious eyes into a crowd that won't look away. Protecting peace doesn't mean walking away. Sometimes it means guarding what matters most. Their story has roots everyone recognizes. It began in the magic of a set, back when Karolik Ask turned them into the faces people couldn't forget. That on-screen flame didn't feel scripted. It felt real in the way great acting often hides real history. Viewers saw glances and laughter that felt spontaneous, and soon afterward, talk of a bond that crossed into life off camera took shape. They became a favorite pair almost without trying. With that came incredible adoration, but also a weight only two people in that position fully understand. Fame turns every quiet moment into a question. Fame makes a closed door sound like a mystery. Last night's moment, the pause, the breath, the line about the woman he loves, wasn't delivered like a headline. It was spoken like truth that needed protection. Listen to the tone and you can hear it. There's steel in it, yes, but also something raw and unguarded. It wasn't anger. It wasn't a performance. It was someone declaring the line between who he is to the public and who he is to the person who matters. Fans noticed his eyes when he said it, and they said there was no pretending in them. A little ache, a lot of certainty. Within hours, the clip had millions of views. Different edits started circulating, close-ups on his face, slow-motion cuts of the moment he chooses his words, freeze frames of the micro-smile he gives at the end. Threads dissected the sentence like it held a map to their future. Some fans called it an accidental love confession, unexpected, unscripted, impossibly direct. Others praised it as a measured defense of the private space every relationship needs to breathe. Both sides agreed on one thing: it didn't sound hollow. It rang with feeling. Meanwhile, Elçin's line, "Everything is unfolding as it should," moved from her post into bios, pinned comments, and captions under old photos of the two of them together. The timing fed the mystery. Was she echoing him? Was she calming the storm before it spun out? Those 8 words, so delicate and so firm, sat beside his sentence like two pieces of the same puzzle. People close to them added another brushstroke. They said the plan, if it could be called that, was simply to step back from the roar. Keep things small. Choose quiet nights in homes that thrive without cameras. Walk in early mornings instead of red carpets. In other words, they were choosing normal moments as an act of rebellion against the expectation that every step is shareable. A message slipped into the chatter: when they are ready to speak, they will. Until then, their story belongs to them. It's easy to forget, in all the noise, how their connection began. The choralic ask said is where they learned each other's rhythms, how one thinks before the other answers, how laughter moves through a scene like a shared secret, how silence can be comfortable, not empty. That on-screen glow made them the couple everyone rooted for, even when the cameras stopped rolling. But the golden light of screens can cast harsh shadows. Being adored comes with expectations. Every delay looks suspicious. Every absence looks like a decision instead of a day off. In that context, last night felt like a reset. A reminder that a heart can be big enough for both love and boundaries. That you can say, "I care deeply," and also say, "I won't let you dissect what is ours." People who've watched Barış for years said they'd never seen him balance those two truths so clearly. People who've followed Elçin said her calm message told them everything they needed to know. No dramatic statements. No sprawling interviews. Just two separate sentences that met in the middle like a promise. "We're fine, but we're doing this our way." The discourse kept spiraling. Some fans posted long messages about how protecting love is the only way it can survive. Others wanted a picture, a hand held, a glance caught, something to feed back into the machine that loves proof more than patience. And yet, as the sun came up, a quieter tone took over. People started to accept that mystery can coexist with romance. That it's possible for a couple to be real without being legible every second of every day. Whatever the truth is behind closed doors, one thing has never looked uncertain: the place Elçin holds in Barış's heart. He didn't have to choose that phrase. He could have dodged. He could have redirected. Instead, he drew a circle around her with a sentence and then locked the door on the rest of the world. That's not distance. That's devotion, guided by a need for peace. If they're together, they're guarding it. If they're not, what they shared still demands dignity. Back inside the event, after that moment on the curb, he returned to the music and the lights as if nothing had shifted. But it had. A reporter said the room felt different when he came back, like everyone was holding a question and a soft answer at the same time. Later, when the party thinned out and cars took people home, the internet was still buzzing like a beehive that refuses to sleep. Edits, opinions, theories, and a few tender recollections of their earliest days on set circled endlessly. When the night finally gave way to morning, what remained were 2 short statements and 1,000 shared memories. And maybe that's exactly the point. Not every love needs proof to be believed. Not every quiet is a void. Sometimes the loudest declaration you can make is choosing not to let the world translate your feelings for you. If you looked carefully at that clip, you might have noticed the way he swallowed back a second sentence. Maybe the one he would only say to her, never to us. As for what comes next, we'll be here, paying attention without prying, celebrating without claiming ownership. If a photo appears, if a walk is caught by a passerby, if a laugh breaks across a quiet table and finds its way into a camera roll, we'll be glad. But if all we get are gentle assurances and 2 people choosing grace over spectacle, that can be enough. Their story has always been strongest in the spaces between words. Maybe this is just another one of those spaces. So that's the story for today. The question that lit up the night. The answer that sounded a lot like care in its truest form. Barış Arduç choosing to draw a line with love still in his voice. Elçin reminding us that timing writes its own poetry. Whether they're standing hand in hand just out of frame or keeping the world 3 steps back, they know what they're doing. And as long as they protect that, the rest of us can do the same by simply watching with kindness. Thank you for being here with us at Turkish Series Stars. If you want more stories and updates on the people you love to watch, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We'll keep following the moments that matter, and we'll be here when the next chapter arrives, quietly, loudly, or somewhere beautifully in between.